Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions, Friday, 4 p.m. BST. Today, friend of the show has returned. It's been a while. Michael Hartman. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing pretty good, Danny. Just sticking to the grind, enjoying coronavirus.
Well, probably a very few people are enjoying the actual virus itself, but I think you mean the remnants of running the business in the coronavirus in terms of the products yourself.
Correct.
Right. So do you want to give the audience just a little bit of background on yourself whilst I'll share the video to the groups?
I think I've been selling on Amazon since 2015. Been a friend of Danny, had an agency, had a very successful BSR, under 10. Then went like super wide, launched 50,000 ASINs in 2 years. And now we're kind of going medium, trying to do a lot less ASINs with just higher volumes. And this is it.
Yeah. And so today, and it's a big day, we're going to be talking about is because at the velocity that you work and operate at, you're here to help out other sellers that have been coming under attack recently with what's been going on on the platform. Do you want to take up the story here? Just gives your interpretation and the backstory of what's been going on.
I think because there's increased sales, there's increased bad actors. I mean, just to put it nicely. Mm-hmm. And with these bad actors, always relying on Amazon to fix the problem quickly. Sometimes you have to take a proactive approach. Proactive defensive approach. And so when we're working on listings or anything on Amazon, we're always taking proactive defensive approaches to protect our sales rank, our sales velocity, and our money, to be quite frank. Because the difference of having, a downtime for a day compared to having a downtime for 2 or 3 weeks can be drastic. So we've developed some procedures that we've adopted across the board to get this going. I partnered up with another guy. He took an exit last year with Thrasio, and another guy who's taking an exit with Thrasio as well. And we kind of combined our forces to pump some stuff up and go from there. And this is what we've been doing this year, and it's been outstanding.
So you've been having basically the core of the story, what we're going to go into here, because you work under a BSR below 1,000, right? In general cases, you've fortunately fell into the top 100.
Sometimes, yes.
And so you've now got warfare going on where you are with some of your listings, shall we say?
Let's say that we get attacks. I call them attacks. I wouldn't call it warfare. I would call it attacks or battles or nitpicky stuff, like your competitor leaving a 1-star review on you, upvoting your negative reviews to be the first one on your page. I mean, stupid stuff. And sometimes they get more aggressive depending on if they obsess about it. They don't think there's enough room for everyone when there is enough room for anyone. So this is
can you give people you threw some numbers at me comparing the top 100 in certain categories in 2015 to now?
It is. I will leave it at this: that it is astronomically better. So I would look at sports and outdoors, and I would say it's at least under the top 10, maybe a 10 or 15x from where it was in 2015. 16. So it's astronomically better. Especially with coronavirus, I just can't tell you. Because of coronavirus, I couldn't even tell you. I can tell you, I had some friends with some products. In 3 days, they did close to $500,000 on new products. I was just dumbfounded, absolutely dumbfounded. So the demand is there on Amazon. The demand is 100% there. You just gotta work on it.
Yes, and obviously Amazon's just had their best quarter ever as well, considering that to restrict what they sold, but then double down on PPE and coronavirus related products. So let's get into some of these battles of what you can say, or some of these attacks, minor, maximum attacks, however you want to.
Let's talk about proactive, preemptive measures. I mean, so I think this is something that everyone needs to know about, and I'm surprised that people just don't know about it. So when you're building out your listing, most people go into the back end and they fill out the FNSKU and they do it this way. This is not the correct way to do it, in my opinion. I don't know of any course out there, but the best way to build listings is to do a flat file.
Yeah.
And when you fill out this flat file, it can overwrite what you're doing in that back end, clickety click, click. And so when you have the brand registry, you're putting the first contributions. If you're leaving certain ones of these fields blank, it means that the first person, even without brand registry, to go ahead, they're giving contributions to this listing. And with that contribution, they can insert what we call like hot words. They call it a nuke, a missile, whatever you want to call it. So they can put in FDA, they can put in pesticides, they can put in Corona, COVID, and then pull your listing down. So I tell everyone to just fill these things out, even if it's with the word none, and always take a backup of your listing. So sometimes you'll notice that you'll just start to de-index and you have no idea why. So they have this report that you can open with a case called the category listing report.
Yeah.
So every case, you ask for it to be active 7 days, 90 days, and you go down.
It used to be 30, but I don't know. Recently, it's changed to 7 now, is it? Yeah.
It just depends. Like I've had some people give it to me for 7 recently, and I have other people give it to me for 90. So just depends. You can download it, and then you can see if your backend has changed from the last time you uploaded it. You can compare the two, and if it has, you can make adjustments and change. Yeah. So one thing that we're seeing is that people are putting in these hot words, and if you're able to upload quickly once you go down by removing these and overwriting those contributions from bad actors, you're able to pop right back up most of the time. Secondarily, things that they're trying to do is hit you with hazmat reviews. So they'll stick batteries, AA, they'll stick like a medical device, all these things. So the best thing to do is to go through like the hazmat exemption sheet for every single type of hazmat that you might possibly have. So this way you're just removing it across the board. So if they try to hit you with a pesticide or an EPA or a battery takedown, it just won't work. So they're burning, every time they're doing this, theoretically, they're burning seller accounts. So they only have a limited supply to do this with.
And are they doing this through burner seller accounts or burner thingy accounts, what they're called?
Vendor accounts?
The vendor accounts, yeah.
So the vendor accounts are very hard to come by, so people will not burn them as much as they used to.
Well, they used to be about 15 grand, I heard, changing hands like last year.
30
yeah.
Now. So you're around 30 grand now. So supply and demand. So most of the time they won't do that. You used to be able to get VC hijacked and this stuff. And that's just mostly gone away at this point. So the biggest thing that people are still doing are these contributions. And so if you can be able to do this, then you're able to take care. And also if they're changing your images to non-compliant images or something to pull you down, you can upload a flat file which has a static URL of your image, which overwrites it immediately. So we keep our images like static on AWS. That just
so what do people do? Obviously that's good pre-launch. What do people do now? So literally run a category listings report, download it, rebuild the listings, and then just upload it and just keep that on file. Yeah,
correct. And then download it like once a week because maybe Amazon's changing nodes or categories, or maybe somebody made a change to your listing you didn't even know. So we've seen this happen a lot recently where we're downloading our category listing report and all our search terms are empty. And we know we uploaded it 2 weeks ago and there's no change in our history. So something's going on. We'll call it like funky business. We're not sure. And so we're able to check that. So if we see a drop in conversion, a drop in sessions, first thing we're doing is downloading the category listing report. We're checking our master sheet, which is like, we have this and we know what it should be comparing to what it is, and then making adjustments. If it's not that, then we're going through and checking price war, review score, other variables.
Yeah. Did there come a point as well? Like I won't name the software because I don't plug software, but one of the softwares that I use is that I can see a listing change. It highlights in green and it also highlights in orange. The orange will show you any dates of changes, but will it go in deep enough?
It doesn't always pull the back end, and that's the problem, right? Yeah. So all of these things they can pull, like the category in the front end, but the back end, if they stick in some like clothing type field 10 and you don't put the word none and someone puts pesticides or Raid or Nike or something to pull you down automatically,
Hmm.
what do you do then, right?
Yeah. But I think also this is only purely going to be beneficial if you've got brand registry, right?
Correct. If you don't have brand registry,
you're not going to.
You know what? We've been testing recently. We've been trying to launch a new brand here. We're not able to create a brand in the back end when creating a SKU without having brand registry done first. Brand registry accelerator.
Right.
We started the accelerator. It's not done in another 2 weeks. It'll be done. But we're not able to create the FN SKU until that's done under the new brand, which is that's a benefit, I think, on the long term, but we didn't expect this.
Yeah. So now I've been noticed when you've been updating prices recently as well. Depends on what marketplace, but the notification comes up. It lets you know whether that change is acceptable. Now, this price was a reduced price, so it was lower, not higher, but it's still saying it's letting you know it's coming up on the screen, like as a what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word for it. A notification to let you know they'll let you know whether that change is acceptable or not, which is quite interesting. Yeah.
No, that is interesting. So
what when someone becomes under attack, what's the best steps to go through here? Obviously, we know this. You download and set up so that you can override it.
It's hard to give a blanket answer because they're always slightly different. But I would say like three things that we can do to try and be preemptive about this. One is to do this flat file backup that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Number two is to do the Hazmat exemption sheets and the pesticide exemption sheet for all of your listings, whether they're you're selling a sock, you still want to do that stupid pesticide because that can pull you down for 24 to 48 hours on like a Cyber Monday, and you don't want this. So we try to be preemptive across the board with like all the things. Whenever we're building, we look at building a listing like building a fortress. So we want to make it as impenetrable as possible to other bad actors or other people trying to screw us up. Because once we're getting to the top, we don't want people to pull us back down.
Yeah. What about people that to counter this in terms of making changes to your listing using a script or a bit of software? Is there a way of maybe people can defend themselves by uploading that flat file with a script through an API?
If you're getting attacked a lot, is what I would do is I would manually upload that flat file or write a script and upload that flat file every 15 minutes. Yeah. Because you're the last one to put contributions. If you keep uploading every 15 minutes, that's how long it takes the system to propagate, then it will overwrite anyone else who is trying to do that because you had the last contributions to that listing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just want to say some hellos to the people in the chat. Dan says, hello from Thailand. Danny and Michael, good info right off the bat. Thank you. Saibi said, why wouldn't anyone use flat files? ? Is there any benefits not to use them? Well, no. You answered your own question.
Complicated, right? So
they're just a pain in the ass because even with the errors, when they come up and you read the errors don't even make sense, and then you end up with the catalog team on support anyway. But once you've nailed it once, it's done. You
have a bunch of different types of flat files for different categories too. So each category has like a different flat file, and they're always changing the format of them.
Yeah, but they fail to remember to give you a new flat file when they update all those different changes when they push code in the back. Owen says, hi. Adam is thumbs up. Good morning, Tiffany. Hello from Singapore. Angela says, good morning. Juan says, happy Friday, Danny. William Vaughan says, yo, Mike. So you obviously know William. Yeah. Singh here says, hello. Let's look who we've got in the feed. Henrietta's here, Dimitri's here, Manish is here, David is, Benjamin, Mia, hope you're well, brother. I haven't seen you in a while. Ben Valence is back. Anna is here as well. Wade is here. Sahal is back. Ryan Beale, Saval is here. Lewis is here. Louise is here. Jeff is here. Miguel and Matsky is here as well. What else has been going on? So you've been dealing with like the little war zone going on, right?
We've been running a lot off Amazon. So Facebook got really cheap because all the drop shippers got kicked off because there's no like fast shipping anymore. And so we've had a lot of success with that, and it's had a compounding effect on our Amazon business.
Yeah.
And then we've also just been breaking out into overall marketing. Email, AdWords has been super profitable at this point for us as well. And we're looking into some other, media buying, other ad platforms to get going.
Yeah.
So it's been
so it'd be fair to say that you are in the COVID market. There are products that you're selling high velocity that relate to COVID as well as your other products, right?
I would say that they are not like I'm not selling masks and sanitizers. If that's your question, right? So I'm not selling masks and sanitizers. I have some friends selling masks and sanitizers. They're killing it. But some products are and some products aren't. It's just a weird uptick, right, across the board.
Yeah.
Some products are down. I mean, like, so I guess travel is like dead 90%. Like it's just done. But other stuff is up. So if you have like stuff that you're doing at the house, tools or other crap that you're doing around the house, it's working. It's working well.
Well, I've got a friend who sells hairbands, but people have been using them because they can't get masks. They just wanted something to cover their mouth with. So, people are adapting things. People using bandanas as an example because they can't get masks. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but they're buying up the next best thing. Is like, well, I've got to have some level of protection. So people are actually adapting products that you would never think of in a million years, and it's suddenly like they get an uptick, and then they realize, they read the reviews, like, all right, they've got bandanas, they're wearing them across their mouth, so I was lucky enough to have like a bunch of friends in China send me over a bunch of masks for my office and my family, and even to my parents. I mean, so I was like super duper lucky with that. So what are you looking at over the next 6 months? What are you seeing? I mean, like your glass is always half full, right? So the way you've seen it is that the impact of COVID is just you've gone in on offense rather than defense because that's who you are as a person. But what can you see coming over the next 6 months? The behaviors, the selling on Amazon. We know that Amazon's up on this quarter. What do you see moving forward? Behavioral patterns?
I think online shopping in general is going to be up. So I think that, like there's a lot of stores that are shutting down for good. I think it was Pier 1 Imports is gone. They closed all their stores. I saw an article. I didn't get to read. I don't know if it was fake news, but Victoria's Secret's closing all its stores.
Really? Okay.
I saw that today and I was like, wow, this is really, really interesting. Not sure if that's fake news or not. But I think that people are this was a boost to push people more towards the online shopping. And I think overall, if you're on the online game, it's huge. And like the next big thing is like this Facebook and Shopify partnership, 110%. The direct to consumer is like the next gold rush that we're seeing.
And so what you're doing is you're with regards carrying on with Amazon, you're still bringing out new products, but you're also looking off Amazon as well. You're doing a big push there.
Yeah, I don't want to be 100% on Amazon. It's too risky. I want to diversify. So as you guys know, like I've done Kickstarters in the past. We're looking at bringing that Kickstarter onto Amazon and Shopify at the same time, and also launching more Kickstarters. It's just a different way to launch products. Any way to get our stuff in front of consumers, whether it be retail or online business. So we're just looking at building a big business. I mean, that's kind of what we want right now.
Just picking up on the feed here, Jan is saying Victoria's Secret is dead. Henrietta is actually saying Victoria's Secret is closing hundreds of their stores, but not all. But that's pretty much a nail in the coffin when you're doing a big, massive chunk like that, isn't it?
And see, I would look at like I could open a brand online selling underwear and lingerie because now there's this huge thing that they can't buy and offer free returns for 30 days. That's how I look at an opportunity.
Yeah. So if there's anyone out there who wants to buy Victoria's Secrets, give them a call if you've got the money. What else has been going on? You're back in Romania, right?
I'm in Romania.
You was in the US before the COVID hit. You
then I went to Prague, and then I fled Prague to get back in Romania before I had to be quarantined. My son is here, so this is the main reason I came back. My one business partner got stuck in Bali. I hate him every day. So I'm left in the office in Romania with, the dreary blocks of winter, well, now it's this, spring showers, but it's been fun. And so we've just been building up the team this year. We hired 30 people, and we've just been trying to scale aggressively. So, and it's been successsul. So far, I mean, knock on wood.
No, we work with what you got, don't you? And then you build on it. Any imparting advice you want to give to people before we go?
I would say just if you look at I always had a lot of ups and downs in business, and I would always say like the downs I never thought I'd get back up, and the ups I thought I'd never get back down. And now I just look as long as I'm on a good trajectory, overall, then things are going to be okay. And so don't get down if your business is down right now. Just find a way to get back on the correct trajectory.
It's like for me, it's momentum, isn't it? Like as the pendulum swings. If you're in a downward momentum and you think downwards, you'll carry on going that way. So you have to kind of realize with the peaks and valleys, when you're in a valley, you got to go, right, the peak's coming soon, and work your way to the peak. And then when you're at the peak, to say, cool, let's keep this on an even keel for as long as possible. Because at some point comes the valley again, doesn't it? So you just got to keep riding those waves. So cool. All right. Short show today, but it basically is compact information. So top down, let's just rerun by what people should do. Flat files? Exemptions?
Yes. Flat files, hazmat exemptions, and category listing reports. I mean, these are like 3 big things.
Cool.
So if you do this, you can protect your brand and protect your money. I mean, this is basically it.
And if people wanted to reach out to you, I know you're a private person. You go from one extreme to another. No, I'm not available, but can people reach out to you? Yes or no?
They can hit me up on Facebook. I mean, this is the best way to get a hold of me these days.
Cool. Thanks for coming in, Michael. I know you're a busy guy. Thank you for sharing that information, because that's going to be very useful for people in the community. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. I'll be back here 4 p.m. tomorrow, BST. We're doing an in-depth profile with Cara Sayer. We look forward to that. See you again tomorrow. Take care. Stay home. Stay safe.